No, just wait a minute. Is that actually? Are you actually saying? Can we have this on film?
Yeah, I've got it.
I'm recording as well. Don't worry. From what I've been told, if you keep failing to abide by the trading standards, saying that you need to be closed, there is a risk that you take upon yourself.
I don't get
that
how...
if you continue to fail to obey by the regulations,
well, we'll shut down completely.
that there is a risk that you can be given away, or you can have your license taken away from you, and you can be shut. This is a substantial risk that you are facing by not adhering to the lockdown guidelines and based on what trading standards have advised you already.
We'll have to look into that.
If you want to look into that, I guess I can only go on what I've been told myself.
No, excuse me. You're not even giving us time to sort out what our rights are here. This is wait a minute. This is a business of 30 years here, and
I'm not disputing that.
We don't feel that that the law is right in this respect. That we are not doing anyone any harm by being open. We are doing no harm. What proof is there that we've harmed anyone?
That you're open. You've been told by the Wychavon District Council, the health and protection, the coronavirus restrictions in England and before the regulations, that you do not meet the required premises guidelines to remain open during a lockdown.
Yeah, but you haven't told us why. The fact that we're selling food
That's not
items,
up for me to argue. That has come from the regulatory service. That
yeah,
isn't
and
for
it
me
says
to
there
decide.
that we can challenge it. So that's what
you
we're
can
going
challenge
to
it,
do.
but that's not with us. That'll be with them.
We've got your advice, yeah.
Okay. Take into consideration, and I've told you that the risks that could be imposed upon this. If you don't, not going to give the details, so be it. But obviously,
well, we've given you our details. I've told you 6 times.
Okay.
You have the details already.
I'm not going to stay here and have an argument with you. We just wanted to let you know.
Thanks.
We're just trying to explain from our point of view.
Yeah.
So
we're explaining from our point of view as well.
Okay, you're not letting me finish my sentence.
Okay, carry on then.
We are enforcing legislation as per our job. You have your entitlement if you don't believe that it's correct, and that's your entitled opinion.
No.
So that's not something that we can address for you.
Because I mean,
that's something you need to go to the government.
Yeah, but this lady here is from the health department of Wychavon District Council, so you would think that I would be able to discuss health issues with her. Okay, you're the police, you're doing your job of enforcement, but this lady here should be able to tell me why we are a health hazard in this shop compared to, say, Morrison's, where you are squashed together with people when you do your shopping. You know, this shop, you can spread out. We don't have a great deal of people in here all the time. I can't see the proof of being a health hazard.
Yeah,
and that's the grounds on which you're telling us to close.
Yeah, I think the whole point is that we're in a lockdown, which is stay at home. So the government will want people to stay at home and go out for essential things. So obviously you need to go out for food and all these other things. But, you know, you don't need to go out and get cards.
But why do you go to a garden centre then for essential things? It's not even spring, summer when everyone's gardening. So tell me what basis then? What is essential about Webs?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
See, this is where we come.
Yeah,
Stop. You haven't answered my question.
No.
I've asked you what is essential about Webs.
Because I don't make the legislation.
Yeah, so this is what we come to all the time. You're the health department. You should know the answers to these questions.
I'm not the health department. I work on behalf of Wychavon Council.
Yeah, but that's your job. You're meant to know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you can't explain to me why our shop is a health hazard, and that's the grounds on which the government are saying that we should close.
The reason is because current legislation says you are a restricted business, which
I know.
means you must close. That's the line.
Yeah.
Okay. They are here to enforce it.
That's fine. The line for us is that we don't agree with it.
It's got to be the majority of what you sell. So it's not. There's not a specific.
Okay,
amount.
Smiths are not selling. Their majority is not newspapers and food. Their majority is what we're selling here. So you answer that.
They're
Again,
referred because they're a news agent.
Yeah.
They're on the list of businesses.
See,
that can
let's
It's the classification of the type of business.
And what does substantial mean anyway? That's very vague.
It is, yeah. But
So at what point does somebody become substantial or not substantial? You know, who makes that sort of dividing line?
you do. You have to look at what, if you look at what a business is selling, and then you have to decide. We make that decision. Is it substantial? Is it the majority of what you're selling? But the other side of it, as Jen said, is it's to do with the classification of business, and we don't make those classifications up. Whether I agree that garden centres are in there or not is my, it's a personal.
Yeah,
opinion.
that's where we're screwed, isn't it?
That's
because
irrelevant,
we
though,
can't.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, anything we say is irrelevant, isn't it? It just comes down to black and white rules and regulations. We can't talk to a real person and get to the bottom of what is going on here. I mean, we'll go to court because I don't think there's any grounds for shutting our doors really when you get down to it. But we're not a health hazard.
There's a question of masks as well when you're facing the public, isn't there?
I don't think masks are healthy. I think they're terrible things to wear.
But
I don't
again,
think-
that's your personal opinion.
Yeah, and
the legislation says.
what
we
kind
need
of
to wear
country do
masks.
we live in now? Why can't I have my personal opinions? Do you have any personal opinions of your own? Are we not allowed to have them anymore? I don't think masks are healthy. I'm not putting a mask on my face and being subject to maybe bacterial pneumonia or some kind of gum disease because I'm wearing a mask so many times a day. Why should I do that? Why shouldn't I have my own personal opinion?
In relation to the masks, okay, you have been stood here the whole time without a mask on, and you're walking around the shop before we got here without a mask on. Okay, I will be reporting you for the consideration for the question of prosecuting you for failing to wear a mask
Fine,
under
do
the
that.
current legislation. So you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which you later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Great.
Do you wish to make a reply?
Not really.
Okay. Have you got a letter on here addressed to you so that we can verify that your name and an address here?
Nope.
Okay. We will need something from you before we can leave. The only other option after that is to arrest you.
Go on, arrest me then.
I don't want to arrest you. If we can find something
Fine.
here, we will find something.
Just arrest me.
I'm not, like I said to you, I don't plan on arresting you. We will find
So
something
funny.
here.
It is. Well,
You're a joke, you know, you're a joke. You really are, you lot.
I can't believe it.
It must be so embarrassing to be doing this. It really must.
So we've had an appeal on the 25th of February, and we've been acquitted. There was insufficient evidence to prove that we shouldn't have been open. We've always had the attitude that people ought to make their own health choices, and so we've not policed anything in the shop. So and we have not been in favour of lockdowns because we think they do more harm than good. So I think a lot of people have been harmed by them, and we hope they never happen again.
And how's the future looking now? Now that this £35,000 has completely gone, how's it looking now for the future ahead?
Well, it's a massive relief. Yeah, obviously, and we're Christians. We believe that God has a future for all of us, or all of His people, you know, and whatever that is, then we will be ready